In today's video, what helps you feel free? We have a consideration, the freeing power of friendship, and two confessions. One is freedom from relationship norms, and the other, escaping to the bookstore. I was going to wear a red, white, and blue shirt, for the whole America celebrating freedom. Yay! But I have a red shirt, not a red, white, and blue shirt. So we're going 1 out of 3 today. Welcome to Confessions and Considerations. I'm your host, Callan, and we hope you had a great 4th of July earlier this week. In the United States, this is where we celebrate the idea of freedom, unless you live in Florida, where you can't read what you want, you can't procreate or not how you want, and you can't decorate your local bridges how you want, like you've been doing. Otherwise, it will defy the governor of Florida. On that lovely note, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. This channel would greatly appreciate your support by clicking the subscribe button and the like button. With the stories that follow, please feel free to add your thoughts in the comments below. If you would like to anonymously share your own confessions or considerations, we have a short intake form link below in the description. We've added a Facebook page to post announcements on when these videos are posted. Also, it's a way for the community to comment and say, hey, can we please do a topic on XYZ? If we get enough of submissions for, let's say, a list of work-related confessions, I'm happy to put together a video. Usually what I aim for is 3 or more of a topic, and then I'll make a video about that. Please feel free to participate and join the community. Again, subscribe, like, comment. So for the consideration today, the freeing power of friendship, we have from Anonymous, age 51 to 65 years old. They write, a few years before the pandemic, my mom moved in with us. She was getting older and it just made sense to have her nearby in case of an emergency. Plus, it was really nice to have her at home to share those years with our boys. I know they value that time together. Unfortunately, as her body aged, her loneliness grew more intense. Life went on for the rest of us. The boys grew into their late teens. Work consumed my husband and me, and her social circle shrank to just our family as we tried to juggle everything. During the pandemic, a dear friend came to visit. She kindly asked if she could see my mom. We were all very careful about keeping mom safe, so I appreciate her asking first. After just 15 minutes, our friend came to me and joked, "It's official, we're dating now." They quickly became double trouble makers, forming an enriching platonic relationship. I'm so glad they found each other. Relationships take work as we age, especially with health issues making our bodies feel like prisons and our minds terrible wardens. Despite our best efforts, my mom constantly struggled with feeling alone in our busy home. This friend made a huge difference in my mom's life, helping her feel included in a way we couldn't. Their inappropriate jokes certainly added spice. I'm forever thankful for that. Rest in peace, Mom. I love you. No comments from the channel. There is a question. When struggling with loneliness, what are some things you do to help you through those times? Are you open to helping others through their loneliness, and how? So, confession number 1 for today, freedom from relationship norms. This person is anonymous, and they are 26 to 40 years old. This past year, I've come to terms with my sexuality is tied closely to what is generally regarded as aphilia. Specifically, I'm a man who is exclusively attracted to old men. This is both romantically and sexually. I've reached a point where I no longer feel shame for this, as I know I am an intelligent, consenting adult. In fact, I am now in a stable relationship with a man almost 40 years my senior, and I'm very happy. The main thing I wonder about now, though, is that as important as having and expressing personal freedoms are, at what point does one need to reel it in? For instance, I worry at times that being loud and proud about my age gap relationship could also normalize problematic age gap relationships. P.S. Walt Whitman, shout out for his patriotic love of America, being America's first critically acclaimed poet, and for being openly gay at a time when it was dangerous to do so. The question is, at what point does one need to reel it in? For me, my answer is Reel it in when problematic age gaps become problematic. Specifically, if you are both of consenting age and there is no cognitive or neurodivergent considerations between those in the relationship, then the same expectations are at play as those in other relationships. If you're only talking about the age gapness of your relationship when we're hanging out, I might cut back my hangout time with you. I want to spend time with you, not your relationship. So I guess just be aware of the oxygen you're using in the room. And that could probably be true for a lot of our conversations with our friends when we hang out. Just be aware of, if you're fixating on something and only talking about one subject, just know that that could probably get old real quick. Variety is the spice of life. That helps out in all relationships. And so we have, for our last confession today, escaping to the bookstore. And this is from Comics Consumption, age 41 to 50 years old. And they write, "For me, freedom means breaking away from the obligations of life, even if it's just for a little while. One of my favorite ways to do this was by diving into comic books, a hobby I cherished well into my 20s. Back in the early 2000s, one of my favorite activities was visiting the big box bookstores. Places like Borders, that are gone now, and Barnes & Noble. These stores had cozy little cafes and big comfy chairs that invited you to sit down and stay a while. Sure, they hoped you'd buy something, but they seemed perfectly happy to let people browse and read to their heart's content. I used to work in the theme parks in Orlando, Florida. After a long day of dealing with the crowds, and the best way for me to unwind was to visit one of these bookstores. I'd grab 4 or 5 of the latest comic books, find one of those inviting chairs, and settle in for some much-needed escapism. I did feel a bit guilty for not buying the comics since money was tight, but I tried to support the store by occasionally buying something from the cafe and tidying up the comic book section, which was always a bit of a mess. After a day filled with kids, family, and occasionally obnoxious coworkers, these bookstore visits were my personal fortress of solitude." Good call, a good Superman call out there. Sometimes I get so comfortable that I'd lightly doze off while reading the latest adventures of X-Men, Justice League, and or Green Lantern. In those moments, I'd slip into vivid dreams where I was right there in the comic book world, sharing the same superpowers and facing the same challenges as my favorite characters. Well, that's cool. Kind of hypnotized. It was a beautiful escape, and in those moments, I truly felt free. Well, that definitely addresses our question today, which is what helps you feel free. I'll extend the question to those that will comment below, which is the question to you is, what do you do to escape reality? How do you refill your energy cup? I know that, at least in my social circle, especially parents, it seems like trying to find time for you and carve out time for your identity and to refill your cup, I know is a precious commodity. It takes energy to do that, and I know it can sometimes feel overwhelming. So I hope that you do take time in your own unique way to fill your own cup with good energy and to help you feel free. And I want to know what it is. You might be able to give someone else an idea in the comments below. If you were to flash back to our first content video, it's labeled Food Friday, and it was uploaded about a month, maybe a month and a half ago. A friend to the channel wrote about finding freedom in fast food. It fits for this theme too. If you want to see it, I'll put a card for that content up here or here. It'll be somewhere. If you have a guilty pleasure that helps you find the sweet touch of freedom from all of this, then anonymously, anonymously, anonymity, cleanse your soul by adding confession or consideration using the channel link below. You can help us decide what our next monthly theme is going to be by joining the discussion on Facebook. That link is also below. All right, Layla, is that a wrap?
Okay, that's a wrap.